Cosmic Brian. I am he who walks behind the rose. He wants you too, Malachi. He wants you too. Jesus. What's up? Here's what we're listening to for a little intro action, man. A little Vanilla Fudge. God, I love that. What a great band name, Vanilla Fudge. This is Renaissance. This is a pretty cool album, man. Great psychedelic Hammond organ stuff. Dig this album. This came with a Perch package, man. By the way, speaking of the Perch, so I don't know if you guys have been following this big news story about the submersible that took this group of people down to the Titanic wreckage and, of course, you know, imploded and killing everyone on board. Yeah, I follow shit like that pretty close. I love those kind of stories. But I just have to wonder if the Perch may have had some, I don't know, man, if he might have had a, oh shit, you guys hear that? It's the fucking shell phone. The Perch is calling me on the shell phone. Hey, Perchy baby, you fucking freaking fish man. Whoa, hey, slow down, slow your roll there, amphibious one. Okay, I understand you had nothing to do with the submersible implosion. All right, man, I'm sorry. I just wondered you were in the area, man. So oh, fuck. All right, whatever, bye. Fuck! The Perch, the editor, on the shell phone. Must have gotten a little pissed off because I was about to accuse him of something very heinous. But anyway, man, my heart goes out to those families, man. That must have been some shit, man. That's scary. I would never do that. Never go underwater. I can't even go underwater like 6 inches and I'm like gasping for breath. Oh, I'm drowning. What the fuck? Jesus. All right, so here we are. It's the weekend, right? Weekend is fucking Vinyl Finds. This is a far out finds video. And I've got a pretty interesting stack over here, man. I got a little bit of everything. Found some pretty cool albums for cheap, and I want to share them with my friends in the vinyl community. And check this out. I'm feeling a little patriotic this evening. Busted out an old peace sign t-shirt. Love that. I always loved that when I was a kid. Hippie shit is cool, man. Jesus. Oh, look at here. Look at this big beast of a beer. Modelo. By the way, did you hear that Modelo overtook Budweiser as the #1 selling beer? I mean, I wasn't surprised about the whole Budweiser being knocked off the pedestal, but I guess I was a little surprised that it was Modelo that knocked it off. I guess I didn't realize so many people dug Modelo. I dig it. I love the Modelo Negro, the dark beer, but decided to go with the golden nectar of the gods. So this is the big chug. In case you guys are tuning in for the first time or been under a rock, I toast you. We guzzle this beer top to bottom. You guys ready? Modelo Gorelo.
Oh, yes, my good friend, of course.
I was kidding. I wasn't going to guzzle that whole thing. Unless you want me belching and puking throughout the video. Shit. All right, so I'm showing like, I don't know, 6 albums here. This is some recent pickups. Just some weird stuff. I think there's some bubblegum in here. There's some glam, some hard rock. I can't even remember what's in there. So let's just start dealing it out. Here we go. Now most of this stuff is stuff I patiently looked for online and scored for quite cheap, actually. And so this first one is Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart. Now, if you guys don't know these cats, they're like a dynamic duo of pop songwriters from the late 60s. Wrote a lot of songs for the Monkees show. In fact, they wrote some huge songs for the Monkees. They wrote Steppin' Stone, Last Train to Clarksville, and Valerie. I mean, those are some big friggin' hits from the Monkees. Of course, when the Monkees started out, they were kind of like the old bubblegum formula where, but they did sing, but there was several ghost writers of their songs and mostly studio musicians playing the instruments. But this released in 1967 on A&M Records, which I friggin' dig this inner sleeve, man. It's very cool. Gotta like that, man. And then it's show you the old gold A&M label there. But yeah, this is a cool record, man. It's got a little like bubblegumish to it, but it's also some great pop songs on here. And I found it to be a little bit on the psychedelic side too. And then, you know, these 60s bands, they always included some weird like vaudevillian type jam on there, and this one's no different. It has that as well. But man, this one's called Test Patterns, and I love this record, man. Was able to get it pretty cheap and in real nice condition too. Yeah, these guys started their careers apart, and they both didn't get anywhere, but together they were fucking one of the most prolific songwriting duos of the late 60s and early 70s. Really big time bubblegum rockers. And then they seen how the Monkees were getting all these chicks, right? And they were like, man, we need to get in on that. We write songs, man. We can sing. So they put together a group and had some hits of their own, released some cool albums, this being, I believe, the first album that they released. But yeah, great stuff, man. Good mix of like bubblegum rock, pop, psych, just rock and roll. I'm very happy with that pickup, man. So check that one out. And kind of keeping in the old like pop psych or sunshine pop type stuff. This one is, the second one is JAMME. I think it's JAMME. It's got all the little weird, like, it's got a little weird thing on the A, and then the, what do they call those? Awats? I don't know what they call those things. Motley Crue has them on top of their, some of their albums on the letters. But this released in 1970 on Dunhill Warlock Records. American pop psych group. They cut their teeth playing on the Sunset Strip. I had a chance to pick this up for really cheap a while back, and I blew it, but decided to pick it up. I have seen it a few times early on in my career as a YouTuber. And always wanted it, and it's pretty cool, man. These guys were discovered by John Phillips from the Mamas and the Papas, who thought he had friggin' discovered the next Beatles when he found these guys. Now, as much as I enjoy this album, I wouldn't put it up there with the Beatles. I think he heard something there and seen something there. And it was probably pretty cool what he heard, man. But he decided to produce their album. He also bankrolled the band for their recording and stuff. So yeah, he was pretty invested in JAMME. Kind of a funny story that I found online when I was kind of looking around for this. So, and while they were recording the album, they were in this studio. And this studio had like this secret wall door, like you see in the movies where you press a button and it either slides open or pops open. And it was Mia Farrow and Michelle Phillips, who John Phillips was, I think he was screwing both of those gals. That one, he was married to Michelle, but also screwing Mia Farrow. Those two gals took the 18, 19-year-old drummer Terry Ray into this secret wall space. They dropped acid, and they were just laying there, you know, tripping out, and started talking about, like, maybe going to France together. And they were talking about maybe what the room arrangements were, and the girls were kind of, I could just see them like tickling the drummer and maybe flirting with him a little bit. And little did they know that old John Phillips was standing outside the secret door, listening in on their conversation, right? And friggin' bursts in and, you know, starts raising hell and, you know, harsh their fucking trip out big time. And next thing you know, Terry Ray is fired the next day. How shitty is that? What a deal. He was just along for the ride, man. A young kid who was being, I mean, it was Mia Farrow and Michelle Phillips. What the fuck else was he supposed to do? Anyway, funny story, but this is like kind of pop psych, kind of even a little, maybe a little bubblegummy, sunshine pop stuff. But yeah, man, I dig this. Released in 1970. Cool record, man. JAMME. Now, this one's from the 70s. This is Ready Teddy. This is like some hard rock, glam rock stuff here. Also picked this up online. This one was released in 1976 on Spoon-Fed Records. I used to go around calling, when I was younger, I used to have this phase where I went around calling everybody Spoon-Fed. Hey, what's up, Spoon-Fed? How you doing? Jesus. But yeah, this is a pretty cool album, man. Some pretty interesting lyrical content going on here, man. Yeah, songs about like nuclear war, songs about aliens. There's just a lot of weird stuff on here, man. But I dig this, man. Probably one of the first bands to use the word copacetic in a lyric. There is another, Local H, if you've ever heard that song. I just don't get it, keep it copacetic, but bam, bam. Jesus. But these guys were probably the first to use the word copacetic. But yeah, I love this, man. Good guitar riffs, kind of dirty, bluesy, glam style. Maybe like proto-sleaze rock and roll here. Cool shit, man. There's a song on here called Moron Rock, and I'm not sure if it's like a kind of a slam on punk rock, or maybe they're slamming Bowie because they talk about orange hair and they talk about strutting around on stage. I don't know. It could be Bowie, could be Johnny Rotten for all I know. Cool album, man. But the song on here that I really dig is called Child of the Nuclear Age. What a crazy track, man. This is like a cheap album. You can get this for around 10, maybe 15 bucks, man. It's well worth it. For just a cool, like, glam hard rock stuff here, man. But yeah, quit their construction jobs to record this album. Good move, guys. And then they went back to their construction jobs after. Now this one, I just couldn't help myself. I had to buy it. I see it every time I go out to like the stores and stuff. I finally said, screw it, man. If for like $7, I'm just gonna grab it. And this is the TROGGS. It's self-titled. I had no idea what to expect from this. I mean, I probably streamed a couple of tracks off of it, but I never knew, you know, what it would sound like. Look at all those words. Jeez. But I figured since it was cheap, I'd snatch it up, man. Released in 1975 on the Penny Farthing Records. Lots of cover songs on here. I mean, they cover everybody. Cover Chuck Berry, the Beach Boys, They cover the Stones. They cover themselves. That's right, I said they cover themselves. They actually do another version of Wild Thing on this album. But yeah, they deliver these cover songs with their own kind of lewd, distasteful kind of style. Yeah, they were kind of a naughty bunch by this time in their career, man. But still, I get that little bit of that snotty, like, garage rock vocal. I get like glam rock out of this, maybe, and some hard rock. The guitars are good. I wish they'd pull them forward just a little bit and maybe pull the vocals back. But other than that, it's pretty good sounding. I have to admit that I didn't dig it right at first, but after a couple, 2 or 3 listens, and I was like at a loud volume, I started to get into it, man. But yeah, man, it's a fun listen. I mean, there's nothing unforgettable here, but yeah, it's the TROGGS and it was cheap and it's fun. I like fun stuff. All right, let's keep moving on. Now, this one is one of my highlights here. I mean, there's no great shakes on this album. It's not like super great or anything, but it's the first album that I've ever bought on the Super K label, which is kind of an offshoot of the Buddha label, you know, like Kaznet's Cats, those guys that did all those bubblegum songs for Buddha. Well, this is an offshoot of Buddha, and this band is called Buckwheat, and it's pure buckwheat honey. Kind of looks like a Psych album there on the cover, and it does have a little bit of, it's more like a pop Psych. There's some bubblegum rock on this. Not heavy bubblegum, but more like a Sunshine Pop. And again, you've got the vaudevillian type track on here. But I had to have it because of the, I'm trying to grab up some of the Super K label stuff. There's the Super K label, which I really dig right there, man. Very cool. I love the Buddha label too, but Super K label is cool as well. But it's released in 1969. This is kind of like, I hear like the Monkees in here. I hear a little bit of Beatles in here. It's very comparable to another album that I don't have, but it's very comparable to Idle Race, the early work of Jeff Lynne from ELO. It kind of has that kind of vibe about it. It sounds very British. In fact, there is some songs on here that are very Beatle-esque. I mean, you've got tracks like Radio, which is very cool. You've got the Albert Hotel. My favorite track on this whole album is called Goodbye, Mr. Applegate. Again, another very Beatles-influenced track. I don't know if anybody out there's heard of these guys, but I had to have this, and I seen it at Dead Wax here locally, and I freaking snatched it up, man. I freaking snatched it up, dude. Now, this is the highlight right here, man. I am so stoked. I already posted this on Instagram, but I finally got a copy of the Seeds Web of Sound. As you can see here, the cover is a little bit beat up, and it's got some staining. But when I seen it online, there was pictures, and I thought to myself, God, it looks dirty, but it doesn't look like scratched up. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna buy it. It's not quite $20. I'm gonna pick it up, and I'm glad I did because I got it. I gave it a good cleaning. It sounds like VG, borderline VG plus, and I am happy with that. And I love that cover, man. I mean, after all, this thing is like, I don't know, it was released in 1966, whatever that makes it, on Crescendo Records. Yeah, it's an original, man. But I've been looking for this album for quite a spell, man. And I almost bought a reissue package. I think it's got like an extra like record in it, the reissue. And it's like $40. But if I can get an original for less than 20, I'm all over that shit, man. You can tell this is kind of the bridge between their debut album and what the direction they were going in for future, the next album. It's kind of more psych than it's like garage psych, but it's a little bit more on the psych side here. And there's a guy on here who's listed as the bottleneck guitar player. His name is Cooker. Now, when I read that name, it struck a bell in my brain. I started wondering if maybe it was Cooker from the Groupies here. This is it's called Primitive. But yeah, the Groupies are a garage rock band from around 67 as well. So this one came out a year after that Seeds album. And I'm just betting that Cooker that's on this album is the same Cooker that played guitar on that album there, man. But yeah, this is great stuff, man. You don't even know how stoked I am to have this album. Ah! Okay, I'm losing my shit. But anyway, yeah, that's it, man. That's my finds video. Hope you guys dug it, man. And if you dig what you're seeing here in Cosmic Vinyl, I challenge you to hit that subscribe button. What? Don't be a you can hit it. I dare you. I just dare you to push that subscriber button. Oh, and that like button, that thumbs up button. It's calling your name. Hit it. And if you want to know when me and the Perch, who happens to, I think I'm looking at him for this the submersible thing. I'm just kidding. He didn't do it. Did he? Anyway, if you like what me and the Perch put together for videos, man, hit that notification bell and we'll make sure that YouTube sets you up. So, all right, you guys, have a great rest of your weekend. We'll catch you maybe a little midweek video too. You never know. This is Cosmic Brian signing out. Have a good one, guys. Peace.